Hi, everyone, and welcome into Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is my good friend.
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht and Josh Albrecht, and we're joshing around Milwaukee, and we're here to explore the best of our city, its vibrant culture, thriving tourism scene, and the people that make it all happen. And today, one of those people is Colleen Resendiz. Colleen, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for inviting me.
So, Colleen is here to talk birds. We're talking birds today.
Yeah, all about birds.
All about birds. Just like if there's anything to do with birds, that's what we're talking about.
And we're only going to talk about ones here, local birds.
Are we?
Wisconsin, Milwaukee birds. Or you were hoping for
All birds.
any
Just
bird.
Birds.
Penguins.
All of them. I got flamingos. I'm dressed up and down flamingo today.
Right.
It's just this is the bird episode.
Okay.
Today.
Yeah.
State bird.
Oh, robin.
Boom.
Yes.
Okay,
How'd you like that? You thought you had me.
That was my only. That was my only quiz trivia question for you. That was it. That's
I also
all
think
had.
it's the state bird of every state. I think it's like
Actually, not too many have
No?
it, but
Yeah.
but do you know how we got robin as
I
the
don't.
state bird?
I don't.
School children back in the 40s or 50s were asked. They were polled, and they picked the robin.
pick the robin
So it doesn't even have anything to do with
with Wisconsin.
robins in Wisconsin.
Well, I mean, they're here and children see them, so
Right.
it probably
and it's
had
like
something to do with that.
typically the first bird of spring, right? Not necessarily, but it's like it's kind of a sign of spring, maybe.
At least people think that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Blackbirds, red-winged blackbirds are actually a better sign of spring because they migrate and come back, and a lot of people don't know we have robins here year-round.
Oh, yes.
Not
yeah.
a lot.
See,
But enough.
I didn't know that.
New
Yeah.
thing.
I
Not
didn't
the
know
eagle either. What's your other bird trivia? What
was it.
What bird did Benjamin Franklin want as the national symbol?
A robin.
No,
Oh,
no.
Good
Colleen?
guess.
trick question.
That was the turkey.
The turkey.
Well, that was a much more difficult question. You
Not
weren't-
really.
You shouldn't have been allowed to ask it. All right. So first of all, I learned when when I was doing my prep for this interview, and we were going to have you on, Colleen, that birding is a thing. I just thought like you'd go bird watching, or like I know a lot of people like doing photography with going on like hikes and being in nature and getting photos of birds. Tell me what specific like birding, if I'm saying I'm into birding, what specifically that means. What sets that apart from just
The skill
someone
set.
who
You're saying
is a
what's the
bird
skill
watcher?
set? Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I have not looked that official definition up in the dictionary, but to me it would mean that you're more actively out there looking for birds, as opposed to bird watching might be a little bit more passive. But back in the day, everybody called it bird watching, and we took that noun and made it into a verb, and now we're birding and birders. But luckily we don't live in across the pond, because they're called twitchers, and I'd much rather be a birder.
Yeah,
I think, than
birder
a
is definitely a
yeah.
better term.
Yeah. So if you're a birder, you're not waiting. You're going.
You're
going
going.
out.
You're
looking
on the
for them.
hunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's good to know. So tell me about the birding scene in Milwaukee.
It's amazing. So you could go every day of the week on a guided bird walk if you chose to. Obviously, you could go anytime on your own, but it has really exploded here. I think COVID had a lot to do with that. But we've got a lot of groups and individuals that now are leading walks. So you could go to a different park every day of the week and bird, and most of them are year-round.
Yeah, and we're really blessed with an abundance of Milwaukee County parks and a couple of state parks, right? I know working with the Friends of Lakeshore State Park group, Lakeshore State Park, right on the lake, a big bird sanctuary all along the lake shore, right? Like all
Yes.
going really from downtown south, but even going north. But I know there's a couple of pockets of really unique variety of birds in the marshlands as the rivers meet the lake and things like that. Have you gone out to the state parks here, whether it's Lakeshore State Park or
Yeah.
Havenswood, maybe?
Actually, both. So the Havenwood State Forest is amazing, and you can see all kinds of different birds there. And they've got a variety of different habitats, not like a big lake per se, but they've got some marshy areas, like you said, and then the forest. So some open grassland, and you can see, in addition to birds, there's coyotes and deer and different mammals that you could see there too. Lakeshore State Park, great during duck migration or waterfowl migration. That's a good place to go to check out different kinds of waterfowl that might be passing through. They get some interesting sandpipers, usually right around this time or the beginning of May. We should start seeing some interesting sandpipers coming through over there too on the grassy area, kind of where you don't normally think of big open grass where you'd find birds, but that's good too. You mentioned county parks. We have one of the best park systems here in Milwaukee County. People came, I ran into them at Veterans Park, and they were from out of state. I think they were from California, and they said to me, Milwaukee's underrated for birding in parks. They couldn't believe the amazing things that we had to offer here.
Yeah, it's definitely something that at Visit Milwaukee we've been getting more and more requests for information about birding locally. We're getting national media who are reaching out saying that birding in a urban setting is a fairly unique thing, right? People probably are typically thinking, hey, maybe we have to go up into the North Woods or something, or to a state park out away from the city. But being an urban center that has these pockets of bird migration and places you can go discover birding, it's a really unique thing, I think, and it's definitely something that we've been promoting more and more for people to come and a reason to visit the city.
And you mentioned urban birding, so I'm thinking just off the top of my head of Kosciuszko Park on the south side around 6th and Lincoln by the Basilica. And we've been making some efforts to get out there and bird a little bit more often. There's a small pond. It used to be bigger, but now it's small. And we're coming up on warbler season, and every birder is excited about warblers. You should be excited about warblers as well. They're beautiful. But we found some very nice warblers around there. We had an osprey sitting on a light pole over by the building. So there's been some very neat things coming through. And if you just have to go look for them.
And so when you're planning out, you're like, okay, today we're going to go to this park. Is it where you're going to most likely see similar birds every time? Or is it like how do you choose which location you're going to go to go birding?
Well, it kind of depends on what your goal is. So let's say you're the kind of person that keeps a list, and a lot of birders use a tool called eBird, and we can look and see what's been sighted at different places, and you can keep track. So let's say you wanted a specific target bird. Well, you'd look and see if anybody reported it, and you'd go there. I tend to look at the county parks list. Wisconsin Metro Audubon gets a list. We work with county parks. And we've got a list of parks that they would like us to bird and check out because they're trying to do bird surveys and find out what's using their properties. So I would look at that and pick one that sounded interesting to me, maybe one I hadn't been to before. Franklin Savannah, on the south side, has been one of my favorites lately to go to. Or you might be the kind of person that just wants to try a new place. You can pull out this app or the county parks map and look and find a park and hit birding, and you really don't need much to do it besides ideally a pair of binoculars and maybe a hat to keep the sun out of your eyes.
Sure. Is there a certain time of day that works better? Do you get more?
Many people go in the morning. Yeah, that's a great question. Many people go in the morning. I have some friends that have been organizing some walks, and they'll go out at 7 a.m. and that's a little early for me. So 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'll make it at 7:30. You definitely hear more bird song in the morning, but afternoons could be good for those who like to sleep in a little longer, for raptors. And then there's a lot of birds that are just active throughout the day because they're feeding. I tend to find noon isn't the best time of day to go. So I would do early morning or later in the day.
Before work, not on your lunch break, seems
it's
to be
before and after work.
The pro move.
But if all you got is a lunch break, that's what you should do.
Yeah.
Yes. There's going to be a great opportunity to get into birding, learn more about all of that. And we're going to tell you about that when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We are having a ton of fun talking about birds. Before we get into more information on birding, I wanted to let you know that the action never stops at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. With thousands of the hottest slots, nearly 100 high-energy table games, and a sleek new poker room, the thrills are endless. Take your love of sports to the next level at the region's best sportsbook, featuring an over 2,000 square foot video wall, nonstop betting, and all the live sports you can handle. All of this inside of a newly remodeled, multi-level casino that's built for the ultimate gaming experience. Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee. Your win is waiting. So before we get into Brew City Bird Fest, which seems very cool, I was looking at some information on that. we found out that you have a beef with a bird. You have a nemesis bird. Is this true?
Are you afraid to say the name?
It's a worm-eating warbler. And yes, it's my nemesis bird. Maybe a beef might be a little strong because I haven't actually seen one to be able to fight it out with it yet. But it's one that I've been looking for a few years now. And people spot it, and I'll go, and it will be gone. It's kind of skulky, likes to go in dense underbrush, sometimes along water. People call me. I was literally 5 minutes away, dressed up to go to an appointment, and high-heeled boots and everything. And somebody called, and they were in a creek, and I ran over there, ran down to the creek, and it was gone. So I'm hoping this year I get lucky. They only come through in migration. So
has it become a thing within the local birding community where they always text you and like fake you out, like, or text you a photo of the one they find?
So mean if they faked me out. They might not be my friends anymore.
You're
if
like,
they
that's
did.
not a worm. That's not a worm-eating warbler. That's just an ordinary warbler.
I was gonna say like what makes it like if you just see it for a second, like.
That's a good question. Like, what qualifies a full view?
If I saw it for long enough to know that that's what it was, absolutely, that's good enough for me. I don't have to sit and watch it for 3 minutes. And getting a warbler in migration to sit still for 3 minutes would be a miracle in and of itself. But I'd really have to see it because I actually think I did see it once. Somebody said, "There's the worm eating," and I saw something fly. But it was like a little brown spot.
So if you couldn't tell,
I didn't count it.
You don't qualify for it.
It's kind of like when people go like, "Hey, have you been to the city?" And like you were in their airport.
Yeah,
and it's like
that's a nice flying reference.
Yeah,
good job.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
well, the worm-eating warbler, you said underbrush near water. I mean, I wanted to ask: do many people bird while kayaking or going on the rivers? Because we have several rivers in the city. Do you hear many birders ever trying to see the vantage point from the water?
Interestingly, no, I don't hear about that a lot. I've done that out in the Waukesha County area and things, and I've been on some of the rivers here. But most people seem to be pretty land-oriented, or at least looking out on the water, as you mentioned, along the lakefront.
Yeah. So you have a nemesis bird and the worm-eating warbler. Do you have a super friendly bird that's just you always see that bird like? You're like
the robin. No. Well, the robin. But actually lately, so kinglets are coming in. We have two kinds of kinglets, and they're very small birds, a little bit bigger than a hummingbird. And there's ruby-crowned and golden-crowned, and they're coming through now. So they don't really seem to care that you're standing there. So you could be just standing, looking around for other birds, and you'll hear a high-pitched whistle in the case of a golden-crowned, and they'll come over and be right fairly close to you. They're busy eating, so they're just pretty much ignoring you, as opposed to some other birds that would just run away or fly away.
Yeah. As someone who lives in the Milwaukee area, do you make a point to not even recognize cardinals?
No.
What do you have against the Cardinals?
Well, I mean,
as long as they're trying from St. Louis.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As a brewer's town.
Oh,
right?
well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I just don't like the ones that come in from St. Louis.
Yeah, exactly. No, I actually love cardinals. I would say it's a very common bird, but one of my favorites. My favorite, blue jay.
Oh.
Yep.
I love a blue jay.
And they're smart birds.
Smart and always bigger than you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your super friend bird?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, it's one I always keep an eye out for. I also do love woodpeckers because they got the crazy tongue around the head thing.
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
protects their head when they're pecking. Actually, there's a young man that birds with us who's visually impaired, but he birds by ear. And he has trained himself to be able to identify woodpeckers by the
sound of
the pecking.
Wow, that's
yes,
amazing.
Yes,
that's
as
really
opposed
cool.
to just a call. Yeah, so we were out the other day and there was a woodpecker pecking, and he said, "Oh, that's a downy woodpecker." And we're like, "How did you know that? He didn't call. You can't see it." And he said, "No, I heard it pecking, and I could tell by the."
That's so cool.
So you could learn
really
that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of learning things, and I promise you, we are going to get to this, Brew City Bird Fest is going to be a great way for you to learn about birding and all the different type of birds that are in our community here. And we are going to give you those details when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. Josh Albrecht here, Josh Albrecht there. And we are joined with Colleen Resendiz who is talking all things birds with us and birding. And there's a huge bird festival. We're a city of festivals, and it's the Brew City Bird Fest is coming up May 9th through the 18th. It's a full week of feathered fun is what's going on. Can you tell us a little bit about what people can look forward to with the Brew City Bird Fest?
Sure, that would be great. We've got a variety of activities May 9th through the 18th. There's a complete list of the activities on the Visit Milwaukee website. You could just look for the Brew City Birding Festival. But I was just double checking the different locations that we have. We've got Urban Ecology Center, Lake Park, the Ware Nature Center, Schlitz Audubon, Lakeshore State Park, which we talked about a little bit ago, Esterbrook Park, Humboldt Park, Havenwood State Forest are the current locations that we've got. Actually, Forest Home Cemetery is also on the list of different things that we're doing to the Wisconsin Metro Audubon Society's leading a walk at the cemetery down on the south side, 27th and Lincoln.
I mean, that's so exciting. And I hope listeners are saying to themselves, wow, that's a lot of places I can go birding, right? Because you don't think of even all the places you can get into nature in the city. And I mean, you listed off a dozen there, great ways to get involved and be a part of. So will there be some special lectures and things like that too?
Yes, actually, yeah. Thank you for asking about that. The keynote speaker is Greg Dubois. He's coming up from Illinois to do a talk on bird-friendly coffee at the Ware Nature Center on Friday evening. And then they've got bird banding, bird walks. They've got things about learning about migration, so a bit more of a program-oriented type of a thing. There's events for families. There's a couple virtual events as well, so just about anybody could participate.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I don't know about you, Josh, but I'm interested in getting out there with a pair of binoculars. Are you?
To be honest with you, I think I want to bring a camera. Like if I was thinking about it myself, if I was birding, I would need the photographic proof. Maybe even if it's not like a great photo, like I would need to be I would be keeping a catalog.
Oh yeah, super scope lens. Yeah, right. Put it in sport mode.
Right.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, basic camera. I'm still proud of you. That's good. No, but that's what I feel like I would need to do this. Otherwise, like I don't know that if I just saw it, I'd be like, I needed to get the photo of it.
Yeah. But that's why you go with the group so that you can know what you're seeing when you look at it. And a lot of people do have binoculars are highly recommended because these are little birds and sometimes they're up high. We do suffer a lot of times in spring from a rare problem that we have called warbler neck. From looking up all the time and holding your binoculars. So,
oh, man, I got a little warbler.
You might suffer from that, but people bring binoculars and a camera. So the binoculars are a little bit more quick to get on the bird, and then you could use your camera if the bird pauses long enough to let you take a picture, or if you're a great photographer and can take it while it's moving, more power to you.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and I think the birding festival is a great way to be introduced to it. So if you haven't done it before, maybe go to one of the lectures or the extra special things going on that week, and talk to those who are involved. We took our friend Bobby Portis from the Bucks birding in the city once with Visit Milwaukee, and we had a fun time with him, and he got some hands-on experience from some of the members of the birding community here, and it's like, people just get absorbed into it really fast.
Yeah. Right? It definitely seems like one of those things where if you give it just give it that first try. And you're in.
And then it's like, oh, I don't want to leave because I want to see it. Like, it's almost like watching one of these shows on TV, like, is it cake? You're like, waiting, is it the warbler? Is it not?
I didn't really care before, but now I'm completely invested.
Why am I? Yeah. And then 3 hours pass.
And suddenly you're late for work, and then you don't go to work at all.
And then you're just birding.
And then you got warbler neck.
Right.
It's just,
that's right. Yeah. That's how it starts and how it finishes. Well, this is absolutely awesome. As we mentioned, the Brew City Birding Festival is going to be May 9th through the 18th. For more information, visit Milwaukee.org is going to have all of that. And it's a whole week long. So even if you're like, it's not one of these just, Saturday, Sunday things and you're out of town that weekend or something. You got a whole week to get something lined up, be a part of it, and get some birding in. Thank you so much, Colleen, for being here and joining us and educating us on everything that is birding.
Yeah, and good luck finding your nemesis.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. You're welcome to come anytime birding with us.
I love it. Thank you so much, as I said, Colleen, for joining us. And thank you, everyone listening out there, for tuning in to this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. For more information on Joshing Around, make sure to go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see you next week. All right, everyone. Thank you for hanging around with us on Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you are watching or listening this portion, it's because you're doing so on Visit Milwaukee's social media channels, and we really do appreciate you doing so. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that fun stuff to those channels. We are here with Colleen Resendiz, and we are talking all things birding. We just had a really funny conversation about just if someone who's completely not into birding that's just heard about it, like myself, just on the way home, sees your nemesis and finds that warbler. How funny
is this it?
Is this the one that you were talking about? It's right here. I don't know what was so hard about it. But in this segment of the show, Colleen, we always have Josh ask his question, and he's going to do so now.
Yeah, that's right. Milwaukee has so many cool things going on right now, such as a great birding fest coming up. We like to say that it's got fresh city vibes, in that we've got so many cool new things, so many things to do and experience, that we're feeling fresh and flavorful. What's giving you fresh city vibes right now?
Well, I don't know that it's new, but fresh for me every year because there's always something different going on. It's not quite here yet, but it's coming up in September. You might know what I'm talking about. Doors Open, Milwaukee. Yeah. And the reason I love it, this guy's kind of a cheaty answer because I just picked something that has 100 different sites in the city that you can go see. But my favorites have been, some of the government property, like Central Library, amazing, City Hall, fabulous, must go. St. Kate's, the Art Hotel, has had different things up over there. The manhole thing that they do right here by Grand Avenue, where they open up the manhole and the city crews are out there and they put a camera down there. I just love Doors Open, and I think it's a great way. We were up in the Couture building. There's just so many things that you can see that you never would have thought of until they gave you that fabulous list of things to pick from.
Yeah, Doors Open is a very, very fun festival. Yeah,
it's one of my favorites because especially for someone who's lived here their whole life, and you drive past it every day, you see it every day, and sometimes you don't even think about what the inside looks like until you hear about events like Doors Open, and you're like, okay, now I need to know what the heck the inside of that building looks like. And I agree with you. That's a great pick.
Yeah, it's definitely an exploratory thing. I love that you picked something that's very similar to birding, right? You got to check off the bird.
That's right.
Birds, check off the buildings. Yeah, check off the buildings.
Maybe I've got a little bit of one of those obsessive compulsive things where I have to list things and check stuff off.
Yeah, but it's a great thing to be able to do and explore the city, and that's what really birding's all about. And so, really appreciate your work and the group of all the birders locally to come up with something like the Birding Festival, because it is a great way to get a little different perspective of the city and of the county, and see the sites from a different angle and a different way. And so it's a great thing. And we are Bird City recognized, and I know a few of the other cities throughout the county and the region are Bird City recognized. So a great opportunity to explore the city, and just like Doors Open.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. It's definitely something that's very cool, and the fact that you can still experience a city, that there's so many different ways to experience Milwaukee, and doing it birding is something that literally before this interview I wouldn't even have thought of. And now
you're wearing a bird shirt.
And now I'm looking forward to it. This sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So if you forgot, again, the Brew City Birding Festival is May 9th through the 18th, and visitmilwaukee.org is going to have all of your information there. All right. Thank you, Colleen, for joining us. We do appreciate it. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in, watching, listening to Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you want to see past episodes, you can either let it autoplay, or you can go choose the one that looks most interesting to you from the list on visitmilwaukee.org. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.